So this video is going to be on some of the astrology this month and the Mercury retrograde. First, I want to go over how many retrogrades we're in right now. So we have Jupiter in retrograde, and that's in Gemini. We have Saturn in retrograde, which is in Pisces. We have Neptune in retrograde. So we got quite a few big things going on. Retrogrades are themes that get brought back up and reviewed. So, for example, when you have Saturn retrograde, it's going to bring up topics that require discipline, and it's going to be like when it's usually disciplined, just think of it going backwards and being opposite of that. That's kind of like a test trial to see how much you've been really working on your discipline. When Jupiter is in retrograde, it kind of delays things. You know, it's almost like you have a block. You want to be optimistic. You want to be out there, but you can't. So it's that kind of effect. Pluto retrograde is, it buys time for a death of some kind. Not a literal death, although it can be, but more so a death of old ways. So that's the major stuff going on right now. But mainly this is going to go over Mercury entering into Sagittarius and when it goes retrograde. So Mercury entered in the sign Sagittarius on November 1st, and it's going into retrograde around November 25th, and it will be till December 15th. Like I said before, it creates delays. Retrogrades of any kind is going to delay things. It's going to kind of revert things. Miscommunication happens. It's a time of introspection. It could get in the way of travel plans. It kind of halts plans. The big picture thinking has a blockage. And how it's going to affect each sign is important to know. So I want to go over those. For Aries rising, the area of impact is going to be in your 9th house. And that's about your travel, your higher learning, and your beliefs. And that's actually the house of Sagittarius. And that's where Jupiter lives. The effect of the retrograde could bring up misunderstandings in your travels, school, any kind of thing like that. You may question your beliefs or encounter old issues related to education or your philosophy. For Taurus rising, the area of impact is going to be in your 8th house. So of shared resources, intimacy, and transformation. Effects could be on financial matters, particularly those involving shared resources, could require reevaluation. Old debts or unresolved emotional issues may come up for healing or renegotiation. Gemini rising, the impact is going to be on your 7th house. Relationships and partnerships are a focus. There could be miscommunication that happens in your relationships. An old relationship issue could resurface. There may need to be, you may need to revisit commitments and redefine boundaries with partners or friendships. Cancer rising, the area of impact is the 6th house. So work, health, and your daily routines. Work routines may experience disruptions. Health concerns might need reassessment. It's a good time to revisit your health and wellness goals and any kind of work-related responsibilities. For Leo rising, the area of impact is your 5th house. So that's the house of creativity, of romance, children. The effects of that could be on your creative projects. Your creativity may experience some blockages, delays. You could also reconnect with your past hobbies or romantic interests because it's the fifth house of romance. So be cautious with speculation and double check plans related to entertainment and leisure. Virgo rising, it's going to impact your fourth house, family and home, your inner self, your childhood. So family dynamics or home related plans may face delays or require rethinking. You may feel nostalgic and want to reconnect with family traditions or reevaluate your relationship to your roots. Libra rising, it's going to impact your third house of communication, your siblings, local travel, financial plans. Misunderstandings in communication are likely because it's the third house. And it's all about driving. It's about, texting, talking. So be cautious with your paperwork, your travel plans, interactions with siblings or neighbors. Reflect on how you express your ideas and communicate. And for Scorpio risings, the area of impact will be your second house of finances and personal values. Financial plans may face delays, or you might need to review your spending habits. It's an excellent time to revisit personal values and think about what truly matters to you. For Sagittarius rising, it's going to be in your first house of yourself and identity, your appearance. You may feel introspective, reconsidering how you present yourself and the way others perceive you. Avoid impulsive changes in appearance or identity and focus on understanding yourself more deeper. Because of the retrograde, it's going to have everything backwards. So it's not a good time to make heavy decisions or, make some huge changes. Because chances are you're going to change your mind. Capricorn rising is going to impact your 12th house, subconscious, solitude, spirituality. So it's going to affect your subconscious patterns, hidden fears, unresolved spiritual issues might resurface. Just take the time to really look inward, avoid starting any new projects until after the retrograde, which honestly, that goes for all signs, not just one sign. So. Okay, I have to redo Aquarius rising and Pisces rising for the Mercury retrograde because it got pretty loud and just children. Well, this is actually impacting my fifth house of children. Wow. Yeah, I'm a Leo rising. So it impacts my fifth house of creativity, romance, children. What do you know? Okay, so Aquarius rising. It's going to impact your 11th house. And that's your friendships, your groups, your dreams. Issues with friends or your social circles may arise, and your long-term goals might require some adjustment. It's a good time to revisit old connections and reflect on your personal aspirations. Do they line up with your friendship circles? Are they on board with you? Are they a team with you? Pisces rising. This is going to impact your 10th house. That involves your career plans, your public image. All of those things can come up for review. And you just got to be mindful of the misunderstandings that might happen at work or with some authority figures. Avoid launching new projects until after the retrograde. So now back to the rest. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the pre-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde, and we'll take time to talk about the post-shadow. So the pre-shadow phase is going to be around November. I don't know if I agree with this, but I think they say it's November 11th, but I think it's going to be sooner than that because it actually hits you quite fast. It starts earlier than usually people think. Usually the pre-shadow phase, it's time where all these themes kind of build up in the areas of life that it's affecting according to the house that it's in. And it can bring hints of potential miscommunications, some minor setbacks or reflective moments tied to Mercury's upcoming themes. So here's how the pre-shadow phase is going to affect each rising sign. So Aries rising, like I said, in your 9th house, right? It's going to have you questioning your beliefs. You're going to feel a pull to reconsider your educational plans. You're going to notice disruptions in travel, since the 9th house is about foreign travels. So reflections hint at themes that could intensify during the retrograde. So it's kind of building up to that, right? Taurus rising, it's about your resources. So issues with your shared finances or your deeper personal connections with people can really come out, like financial agreements, loans, things that are related to your intimacy. All these things are going to build up and heighten, intensify. And for you, Gemini rising, there's going to be misunderstandings with your partner, because it's in your 7th house. So you just have to be very mindful of the way you're communicating, because your communication, you'll have less awareness of how you're coming off. The way that your patterns of communicating could become more pronounced, and it could really be off-putting to others. By the way, you should also check not just your rising, but check where your moon is. So you should listen to all 3 signs, your sun, moon, and your rising, because the moon represents your emotions, the sun represents your soul, and the rising represents the persona that you give off to the world outside. So I could say, for example, that my Gemini moon really does go in line with the Gemini rising effect, because my moon is there, and that's where my emotions are. And Mercury is ruled by Gemini and Virgo. So anytime Mercury goes into retrograde for me, that's the planet I rule. That affects the hell out of my moon, depending on what sign it's in, And the fact that Gemini and Sagittarius oppose each other on the astrological wheel, they are complete opposites of each other. So that is basically, it's in debilitation. It's debilitated. It's in his fall. So, and then with Jupiter is the planet that Sagittarius rules. That's in Gemini right now, which is also in retrograde. So, just saying, I've been feeling this big time. Cancer rising, it's going to be highlighting your daily routines, like I said, health habits, all of your work-related projects, responsibilities could really feel out of sync. You might feel like not doing things, you might feel like, oh, I don't feel like getting up, I don't feel like doing this, when I usually am totally fine with doing it. Something just disrupts it, causes like a stagnancy. Like if you have like a exercise routine, it's going to get messed up somehow, and you're just going to kind of feel more sluggish. Leo rising, you got creative blocks, Leo, and there's going to be shifts in your romantic dynamics. So definitely going to be shifts in that, because 5th house is the creativity, romance, children. So it's going to hint at what you need to reevaluate later. You could reconnect with past creative interests or assess romantic plans with patience during this time. So all of your creative projects could be on a halt, and whatever issues you have with your children as well, or your romantic partner, will come up for review. So you have to have patience. Keep in mind that Mars is also in your sign right now, and Pluto is opposing Mars. It's going to have an effect on you that you might not be aware of. I felt some of it myself already, and I can attest to that. So just be mindful. Just my advice to anybody who is a Leo rising, or Gemini, or Sagittarius, or Virgo, because this is going to affect you guys a lot. Virgo rising, it's going to be in your home and family matters. They're going to feel unsettled. You're going to be very nostalgic. You might, I'm not going to just assume, but you might feel very nostalgic, and you might have this desire to reconnect with people from your childhood, revisit like pictures and, family home videos, all that kind of stuff. And perhaps it has something to do with also kind of revisiting it because you need to reflect on some things you've gone through in the past. Libra rising, third house, going to have some miscommunication coming up, big time, travel delays. If you have siblings, there could be some quarreling. And for you as well, pay attention to the ways you communicate, the way that you gather your information. It may not all be correct. So be sure not to just listen to so-and-so and listen to what people are telling you, because it might not even be a legitimate source. So, Scorpio rising, your financial transactions or your values could feel slightly unstable. So it being in your second house, it's going to bring up this reflection on how you spend your money. Do you feel stable? Do you feel like you have a good foundation, or does it need to be reworked? All those things are going to come to the forefront for you, and you're going to have to make a plan. But you might experience delays. Like maybe you're just all set to go and you're ready to just keep grinding, but then something comes up and kind of gets in the way. It kind of creates a blockage, whatever it may be. And like some other outside sources could affect that. Sagittarius rising, it's in your house of self. You are going to have some identity, like doubts of your identity, how you present yourself. You want to change something about yourself. Like you're going to have a desire to want to make changes to your identity in some way. It's really about reflection of your past, of who you are. So going deep within, don't just make impulsive decisions about changes like right away, especially during the retrograde. Like I said, you could very well change your mind if you make a decision during the retrogrades. 12th house for Capricorn rising, unresolved conscious patterns and spiritual questions about your inner self, your inner world. The place that you don't like to go to, that's unknown. Maybe you want to retreat somewhere. You're going to be more introverted and have time to yourself during this period of time to really kind of deeply reflect on things. But the thing is that could be difficult for you to get to, because maybe your routine, your job, your family might make it difficult for you to find that time to do it, since it's like the retrograde thing. But you're going to have a desire to want to have some more alone time. Aquarius rising, so within friendship groups, people in your community, there's going to be possibly some mishaps in your communication amongst colleagues. Not like knowing if everyone's on the same page. It might be a little disruptive in the teamwork. Pisces rising, 10th house. So that's your career, your public image related to issues that begin to surface. It's going to involve some past projects and decisions that were made. Take note of any uncertainties at work, as they may be revisited during the retrograde. It's going to really question, are you happy with your career, what you're doing? Is this the path that you feel called upon to really dedicate yourself to? So it's going to ask you that, to make those solid choices. Anytime you're in pre-shadow or post-shadow, staying patient and alert to these emerging themes can help you guys better prepare for Mercury retrograde's influence, because things are going to come back and test you. And now let's go over the post shadow, which is going to be from December 15th to December 29th. It's a period for processing and integrating lessons learned during the retrograde itself. Here's how each rising sign may experience this post-shadow phase. So, Aries rising, 9th house, you might slowly gain clarity on recent doubts you had about your beliefs or your future plans. It's a good time to solidify your travel plans now or educational pursuits, but do so with a cautious approach. Taurus rising, 8th house, any financial or intimate misunderstandings may start to resolve. You could feel ready to set clearer boundaries with shared resources. Use this time to deepen trust in your close relationships. Gemini rising, 7th house, misunderstandings in relationships may ease a little bit, helping you feel more connected and more assured on your path, whatever path you choose. It's a good time to resolve any lingering issues and create more clarity in your partnerships. Cancer rising, 6th house, your daily routines and work responsibilities might become more manageable now, where you feel like you can get back on track. Health goals or adjustments to your schedule can be implemented effectively now. And bringing stability back into your routine will be really nice. Leo rising, so 5th house. The effects of your romantic and creative matters may feel clearer. A lot more clarity to your romantic relationships. You might be inspired to act on projects that were delayed before. It's a great time to reconnect with creative interests or a romantic partner in a stable way. Virgo rising, 4th house. Family dynamics or home matters may finally start to settle, allowing you to move forward with a clearer understanding of your needs. You may feel more connected to your roots and find peace in your own home environment. Libra rising, 3rd house. Misunderstandings or delays around communication may clear up, allowing you to communicate more effectively. Short trips and connections with siblings or neighbors may become smoother and more rewarding. And Scorpio rising, 2nd house. Finances and personal values may gain stability, helping you make clearer decisions about spending and saving. You may feel more grounded in what truly matters to you, guiding better financial habits. Sagittarius rising, 1st house. Any confusion around your self-identity, well, those personal goals, they may dissipate, allowing you to feel more comfortable in your own skin and be confident. Take gradual steps to show the world who you are becoming, avoiding hasty changes. Capricorn rising, 12th house. Lingering subconscious patterns may finally come into clear view and making it easier to release all those burdensome patterns that you had, the thought patterns you had. Embrace this period for spiritual reflection and inner clarity. Aquarius rising, 11th house. Social dynamics or misunderstandings within groups may start to resolve, and you may gain a clearer sense of who supports your dreams, who wants to work with you as a team. It's an excellent time to recalibrate your goals and connect with friends who inspire you. And then Pisces rising, 10th house. Career goals, professional image may become more stable now, helping you reestablish your path forward. This is a good period to clarify responsibilities at work or adjust your public image thoughtfully. So during the post-shadow period, patience and gradual progress will be key to all the signs, to everyone. I mean, it's like a transition from reflection to integration and forward movement. So that's what I have. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week.